Good afternoon. It's April the 25th. I'm heading down to South Albert. A couple of days ago, I walked up from South Albert. I'm walking down to South Albert for the same reason. That's where the car is. And I'll be down there again on Monday, so you might get another walk on Monday. There's took me a little while to track down the problem. There's some sort of leak in the vacuum that makes a whistling sound as the air rushes in, and of course affects performance. So first they thought it was an oil cap, and they replaced that, but that didn't do it. So they did some more digging today. Had to order another part from Winnipeg. Probably get here tomorrow, but who knows when. So Monday, I'll take it in again and hopefully this time get it properly fixed. Need to get it fixed because next week I have to go to Saskatoon for Sask Expo. So it's a lovely day. It's 20 degrees, I believe, thereabouts. Nice and warm. Should be a pleasant walk, about 45 minutes. Just the reverse of what I did the other day. Although I might walk over the bridge instead of going over right by the lake this time, just to be different. Don't have to worry about traffic from that direction. And of course, I've been publishing up a storm, or kickstarting really. About half my time is on Kickstarter stuff, and the other half is on publishing stuff. What I haven't done is any editing or writing, the things I really like to do. The Kickstarter is eating my time to that extent. However, it continues to advance. It's now less than $2,700 to go. And they say 13 days, but it was 14 days as of noon, 2 weeks. It ends at noon on May 9th, my time. And again, that's the Black Cat. That's the Kickstarter to fund an anthology of science fiction and fantasy featuring authors who are guests on my Aurora award-winning podcast, The World Shapers, which you can watch right here on this very YouTube channel. And of course, you can kick in the Kickstarter at tinyurl.com/Shapers of Worlds 5, numeral 5. This is the slow part of the campaign, so it never goes up as much each day as I would like it to. There'll be a surge at the end, but you don't want to have to rely on that. You want to fund well before that. All right, very bright and hard to read. Excellent advice. Smash the likes. Really? Kansas City Chiefs champions? Really, there's a Kansas City football fan there. Which is interesting because I have relatives 50 miles from Kansas City or thereabouts in Missouri. My mom was born in Missouri, a little town called Butler. And I have cousins and still have an aunt there. Last one from my mom's family, last sister. She was the youngest. I always point out that house because I like it. Now, it used to be, and someday again, you should be able to walk under the bridge here, but you can't right now. It's collecting graffiti, not much else. So we'll walk along the bridge this time. I usually prefer to walk over there, but I just thought today we'd get a look at the creek from up here, see how high it is. I haven't walked along the creek for a while. Besides, you can look at all the Canadian flags flying bravely in the breeze. It was this house that had a fire, and then they rebuilt it, and it was bigger than it was before. It wasn't, destroyed by the fire, but it was heavily damaged. And somewhere over here was where the sinkhole that's on the other side also ate half of somebody's backyard over here. But I think that's all been repaired. This was all blocked off a little earlier this week because they were trimming trees along here. Probably to preserve somebody's view of the lake, I guess, which of course is right there. Yeah, the creek is pretty high still. But there's no snow left to melt, so that's higher than it sometimes is, for sure. And sometime soon I'll walk along the creek again. Oh, and look down here, pelicans. You can often see pelicans here. The fish, I think some fish come over the spillway, so it's an easy place for them to find them. Well, I don't know that I'd spot any fish, but the pelicans know they're there. Anyway, yes, there's the lake right over there. The dam that forms the lake is right here. I'm walking over it now. Rotary Park over here. You see the grass is turning green, even though there's no budding out of leaves yet. But soon it'll be, you can almost see a flush of green in the trees, I think. Well, maybe they are budding out a little bit. This is Rotary Park, some geese out there. Yeah, there's a flush of green on the trees, so the buds are working their way up. It's not really fully fleshed out for a while yet, but it's starting. Yeah, nice. I hadn't actually looked that close until just now. So. Depends on the tree, species, and the individual tree for that matter, but there's definitely some happening. Now, at some point I have to cross Albert Street here, but I'll just do that in whatever makes the most sense. Boy, I would like to see people who do graffiti removed from polite society. Maybe hard labor cleaning graffiti would be appropriate. Also, something they really care about should be defaced. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I've been in that house. It's for sale. It's bigger than it looks. I mean, it's all one story, but it's very nice inside, or at least it was. It's been years since I was there. It's a Christmas party, I think, if I remember right. Whoever lived there then, I don't think she lives there anymore. You do see some of the bigger houses along here. Not these so much, but they get bigger the further along here we go. Quite a few of these are in my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw. Oh, unstable internet connection. Always a surprise when I get that along Albert Street. Like this one, for example. Maybe I'll just stay on this side. I did walk down that side last time, so stay over here and look at houses instead. Most of them are pretty nice along here. Although again, it partly depends on what the lights do. I'm going to get caught by this one, but it's just pretty short. Another big one. biggish, anyway. And of course, the legislative building is right over there. Yeah, this will change. There's nobody coming anyway, so I will just jaywalk. Oh, it wasn't a jaywalk. I've been in that house too. Also nice. I like brick houses. There aren't as many of them as you'd think there would be in Regina, but there are some, and that's one of them. Yeah, these are probably mostly built in the 20s or the teens, some of them. This was kind of the prime real estate area. A lot of them have bushes in front of them, so it's harder to see it part of the year than it is right now. This is a particularly nice one. It's been featured in various stories about the architecture around here. Sorry, it's hard to read the comments because of the sun. I suppose I could. Well, I don't know if I will, but I could actually schedule something as a live premiere or a premiere, and people would come and watch it, and probably get a bigger crowd if I did that on a scheduled basis. But I'd have to prepare for that and have my book, Historic Walks of Regina and Moose Jaw, with me. I could do the walk along here and give more information about each of these houses. Not each of them, but many of them. Again, some of them you can't really see once the bushes leaf out. It's got a big yard on this side. Across McCallum Avenue. This one's for sale on the corner here. Or is this the one I was in? No, it was the one back there, the brick one. I don't think I've ever been in this one, but it's for sale if you're looking for one. Of this vintage and size. Probably expensive by Regina standards, but not that expensive by most other cities. The great thing about all of these is that they're all unique. Like, this wasn't a development where you got variations on the same plan. These are all designed by architects and unique. The only downside to these is, of course, you've got the busiest street in the city right in front of you, which is one reason that a lot of them have bushes in front of them for soundproofing, sound reduction anyway. Then you got this little one that just kind of seems a little out of place, but it's very colorful. It has that red roof. This one has a little driveway, which makes a lot of sense here because otherwise you have to back out onto Albert Street, somewhat fraught. Okay, so now we're getting by the government buildings. That's the Walter Scott building over there. Another interesting one. As we cross 21st. On the tree-lined streets here. Now this one is new-ish. Replaced something else. So that's a modern one. But at least has some of the characters of the characteristics of the houses that were originally built here. I don't know what they tore down to make that. I don't remember. I remember when it was being built, but I don't remember what was there before. This is another one that often gets featured, and people talk about these old houses along here. I think that's it. Yeah. Some interesting features. It also has the drive-through driveway. That's a much more modern one, obviously. And that one too. And that one. So they're starting to peter out a little bit size-wise. Further south you go along here, kind of the smaller and more ordinary they get, although there's still some nice ones down there that we'll probably go by. Yeah, this one in the corner here, I'm working on this one obviously. This one on the corner here is one of the special ones. And somebody wanted to tear it down, but was kind of prevented by public outcry. And I don't know what the status of it is now. They cut down a bunch of trees, but apparently that was important for... Certainly you can see it better than you ever used to be able to before they cut down the trees. Has a turret. I love turrets. Makes you feel like you're living in a castle. Has that sort of Elizabethan Tudor timber thing going on, half timber. Also kind of cool. All right, we get across Hill Avenue now. And quite warm. Could have worn shorts. Doesn't seem quite right yet, but people are doing it, and I certainly could have, but... The big one. I guess there's still a few big ones down on this block, too. Must be the next block when they start to scale down. That's Lloyd Place over there, another government building. The interesting one with the porte cochere, the covered porch. Most of those were built a long time ago and are too small for modern cars, but sometimes you still see them on the building. Right, people coming this way are wearing shorts. Didn't I tell you how warm it is? Now this one hides behind a wall, but probably does help their sound control, but makes it hard to see the house. But I guess they're not worried about that. There's an interesting roof line. Oh, and this one up here I've always liked a lot. Very interesting roof on the upper floor on this one. And again, I actually, at one point, knew a lot about these places because I wrote a book, but I'd have to have it with me too. Yeah, I really like that one. Might be my thumbnail for the day. And we're coming up to the T.C. Douglas building and the McKinsey Art Gallery over here. Hi, Kev. Sorry, again, I'm having a hard time reading because of the sun. No, generally speaking, people walk slower than I do. And, you know, what's the point? Because I'd be talking to myself. So I've never seen what the appeal would be. Another nice one in there. A little smaller, but still. There's a much more mundane one from a few years ago. It's for sale. Probably the 60s, that one, maybe the 50s. Now this one is curious. Very modern. Hard to know what it's like inside from the front. And I don't know when it was built. Not that long ago, I would think. And then this is obviously a modern one as well. two modern ones next to each other here. If I lived along here, I think I would be in favor of a wall that blocks noise, although then you lose some of the nice landscaping out front. This is a lot, a vacant lot, it says. It's landscaped, but I guess you could build a house there if you bought it. Huh. Doesn't look like a vacant lot. Now we're getting into, more ordinary ones. But still a few bigger ones along here. This one, for example, another good sized one. With an interesting roof. Corner lots often have bigger houses on them. Another one that's hard to see through the trees. There you go. Assiniboine Avenue. What, about 3 more blocks and we'll be down to the commercial area. Okay, I lied about them getting smaller. We'll still be a little further on before that starts to happen, because I keep seeing big ones like that. That's not a small house by any means. Or this one with its big 2-car garage there. And the drive-through driveway, which I would definitely want if I lived along Albert. There's the McKinsey Art Gallery over there. T.C. Douglas building. Another older one. And another older one. The fountain. Well, I walk slow because I'm doing this. When I'm just walking to walk, I walk quite a bit faster than this. Usually if I'm in a group, I'm the fastest person. So I'm walking a lot slower than I normally do, but even at this, it's faster than some people like to walk. Anyway, it's not a race. My function here is to be more relaxed than if I'm out just walking for the sake of walking or in a hurry to get somewhere. Like my more normal walking pace would be more like that, I guess. Pick up to what I normally do. So I'm not hugely fast, but relatively fast. I have long legs, so I don't have to take fast steps to move at a pretty good pace. Regina Christian School there. Also, if I walk fast, though, I get short of breath for talking, so a little bit. Not a lot, but some. So another reason I slow it down a bit when I'm doing this. Now we're into the smaller houses that I knew were along here somewhere. And somebody blocking the sidewalk, forcing me to step into a driving lane. Because I can't go that way either. Oh well, if I get run over, I can always sue them. Lakeview Avenue. This whole neighborhood is called Lakeview. Looks like the kids are out. Recess over there. Hello. I shuck. Hello. Have to find a shady spot and lift my sunglasses in order to read the screen. There's an old truck. Oh, that's a long one. Can I read it? I'm not sure. Hi, Joe. Yep, I'm going all the way down to South Albert to OK Tire, down just short of Gordon Road. To pick up my car. So basically the whole length of South Albert. Old commercial strip there. Why? Are you there? Once we get up here, I'll have to decide to cross over whenever the lights are in my favor, so I don't know exactly which side I'll be walking down. Marion Chateau over there. Senior living. Getting thirsty. Sort of had a big glass of water before I set out. I should carry water with me when I do these. I always find that, especially in the summer, I'll get really thirsty because I'm talking and walking, and I never remember to take water with me. Maybe this year I'll remember as we move into the warmer walking months. Warmer walking weeks. WWW. One more block and we switch over to the commercial side of things. Oh, sure, Albert Park is fine. Very nice, close to lots of stuff. You're not particularly close to downtown, but on the other hand, this is Regina. You're never that far away from downtown. But you got all the commercial stuff here, and then Harbor Landing has a ton of stuff. It's not too far away. Nice neighborhoods. Yeah, I think Albert Park could be a fine place to live. I've never lived there, mind you, but that's my impression from driving and walking through it. And I know people who live in the area. Now, that depends, of course. There are a whole bunch of other ordinary, I don't know what they're like inside, probably cheap apartments just over here this way. I'm thinking of the houses a little further to the west. So certainly there's some, kind of uninspired shoebox apartments, lots and lots of them. So I don't know what they're like. I've only seen the outside, which is not very interesting. And there's some nicer apartments too. I sometimes walk one block over to the right, and that takes me by a bunch of apartment buildings. So yeah, there's tons of apartments and there's tons of houses. But overall, I think it's a fine neighborhood as far as I know. Coming up to 25th now, and from here on out, the next few blocks are commercial. I'm going to make this one. It's going to change before I get to the curb. I think I'll be all right. So we'll go on across past Original Joe's. Takes us by what used to be called the Golden Mile Center, which was a much more interesting name than Smart Center, which for some reason has penguins on it, which is what they call it now. So Parliament will be the next one. There's Smart Centers, so a shopping mall. There's a movie theater in there too, a second-run movie theater. Used to be called Rainbow Cinemas, now it's something else, but it's still there. India Market over there, Western Pizza. suits me. Superstore for all your shopping needs. There's a few grocery stores along here. Big wine store or liquor store over here, with a fat burger nestled in the corner of it, which is kind of interesting. They're not connected, but the liquor store actually wraps around the fat burger there. Coffee shop down here, Good Earth. Never been in it. I've been in others. I think there's more than one Good Earth. Oh, the building's over there too. Yep, KFC's coming up very shortly. Right up there on the corner. Urban Cellars, that's what the wine liquor store is called. There's doctor's offices up here. Used to be a brew pub. Not in this block, a couple of blocks down, that's no longer there. There's a British style pub over here, as they call themselves London Bell. It's just a pub with an English theme. I don't know what makes it English. It has beer, but they all do. I smell food. I smell Kentucky Fried Chicken, in fact. I think that's where that's coming from. That's the way the wind's blowing. But something's been sold here. They're replacing the KFC with whatever this is. Maybe not. They're just advertising their brokerage, I guess. They're not saying that this space was sold. See, some of the apartments over there, one block over. Tons and tons of them. I don't know, looks like I'm still walking this way because I still haven't caught the light to cross. Oh, well, actually, if I get across here, I can easily catch the light and to go to the other side. So that's what I'll do. Most efficient use of my time. Some apartments over there too. That's a fairly new hotel with a London Bell pub in it. This is a hotel that's been there a while, but it's been a few different things. I think of it as the West Harvest Inn, but it's actually called the Atlas, I think, now. Been at quite a few events held there. Had breakfast there on the morning of my wedding. It wasn't the Atlas then. Oh, no, this is called the Royal Hotel. Which one is called the Atlas now? Maybe that's the one downtown. See, I can't remember. It's the West Harvest Inn to me. I'm sure Steele's used to be called Grainfields. So, things change. Can't keep up with it. Yeah, certainly for, amenities, if you're living over there somewhere, all this stuff is right here. I mean, but look, I'm 10 minutes from downtown on walking, 15 minutes from downtown walking, and I'm only 45 minutes from my house walking down to the end of the street here. So really, nothing's very far away in this part. Now, you can go clear out to the East End, that's more. But even Harbor Landing, which is tons of stuff in it, is not far from here. East End has a ton of stuff. I always think of it as like almost like a different town. Go out there. There's a liquor store. We pick up stuff from there. We're members of the Epimium Wine Club, and that's where they deliver to now. They used to deliver to the liquor store that used to be right over there, but after the government shut down the SLGA stores, the Epimium Society started delivering way out the southeast corner. I've walked out there a couple of times. It's right on the edge of town. You can see the prairie. Last time I did that, it was still snow. Is this the one that's called the Atlas? Yeah, this is the one that's called the Atlas now. That's what it is. I think of this as something else too, but it's the Atlas. And the Knotted Thistle pub used to be called the Blarney Stone. It was an Irish pub. Saw the Arrogant Worms there one night and had a Guinness spilled on my suit, because we actually left the symphony early to enjoy the Arrogant Worms here, and the waitress managed to spill a pint of Guinness on me. I remember, yes, I remembered it well. And when Great Big Sea made their first cross-country tour, when they were so small they were just using a van, this is where they played. Since then I've met Alan Doyle, so sung for Alan Doyle in the Underbelly, the Yellow Belly pub in St. John's. Because we were there on a kind of tour thing, and he was our host. Alan Doyle was our host. One of our hosts. Called the Great Canadian Kitchen Party. They do all sorts of cool stuff like that. And we had the opportunity to sing if we wanted to, and about 2 of us took advantage of it, and I was definitely one of them. I sang an Arrogant Worm song. See, it all ties together. The Last Saskatchewan Pirate. And there's video of me doing it on this YouTube channel, plus some Alan Doyle video as well from that trip, with him playing for us in various places. So check that out if you don't know who Alan Doyle is, or Great Big Sea, none of that, or the Arrogant Worms, probably none of that registered on you at all, but it might. Yeah, nothing's too far away, including the airport. There's the airplane going over. Going to the airport in Regina is never the hour-long commitment it is in, say, Toronto, if you're downtown. Okay, just a few more blocks and we'll be done. Another grocery store over there. Tim Hortons, there's always a Tim Hortons somewhere. Not my favorite, actually, but reliable. You always know what you're going to get at a Tim Hortons. And we got the Keg next to it, the new Keg. The old Keg was smaller, and it's also along here somewhere. There's a Holiday Inn Express lurking over there. Keg Steakhouse. I like the Keg, but I almost never eat there. I don't know why, it just doesn't come to mind. I don't know why. Earl's, which we passed further back, used to be on this side in a smaller location as well that we'll pass up here. So I've been going there for a long time. So if I'm going to a place like that, I tend to gravitate to Earl's, just because of a great deal of history, I guess. You get into ruts. Okay, tire. I once bought a tire there, just one. I think it was just one, or else they fixed one. Probably they fixed one. You seldom buy a single tire. Co-op gas station in Car West. Oh, that's good. It's Cal Tire. I'm headed to OK Tire. Quite a big gas station here. BMW's been there a long time. Or has it? It's been rebuilt. It doesn't look at all like it used to. And I keep thinking, I keep getting confused. I think that should be where Earl's was, where that A&W is. And then that was a keg, the India House there. But there was also an A&W along here, so I think I have my memory messed up. Right, India House. Was that actually the Earl's? I don't know. Maybe it was. Anyway, it's been India House for a long time now. See more apartments way over there. One block over, there's lots of them. I'm almost there. Used to be a comic book store in here. Took Alice to a few times, but it's not there anymore. You call it a comic book store. I suppose it's more like a geek store. They don't sell science fiction books, only graphic novels and that sort of thing. This is where I get the car washed usually. So that's exciting to know. Boy, my mouth is dry. Walking into the wind and talking. There's OK Tire. It's right up there. And my car will be waiting for me. It's not fixed. I bring it back Monday, and they'll hopefully finally fix this annoying problem. But at least I'll have it now over the weekend. It drives fine. It's a little rough, and it's, inefficient. It's not getting good combustion. But it works. I don't think it'll die on us or anything like that. So I'll bring it back Monday and they'll fix it for real. Right, OK Tire, auto service. I've been bringing my cars here since the Volvo guy, Brad's Auto, who used to kind of specialize in Volvos, went away. Right next to the speedy glass. Which does me no good because our windshield, first of all, it's got a defroster in it, and it's also got rain sensors in it. So if it cracks, you can't just patch it. You have to replace the whole windshield. Okay, we'll stop here. Thanks for walking with me.